This will destroy you and prevent you from really making progress in your life and your personal goals more than anything else. Hey everyone, my name's Christian Verstappen, and I have a lot to say about many things. I want to talk about perfectionism. A lot of people look at perfectionism as a quality to aspire to, a good thing. It's good to be a perfectionist. It isn't. Because the reality is that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter who you are, how you look, anything, you will never be perfect, even to your own standards. It just won't happen. For years, I have struggled with this mindset where I had to be perfect before I did anything, including making these videos. I've been working for about a year or so now on getting into better shape, improving my health, my mental state, and so many other things about myself in general. And I would tell myself, I can't start doing this. I can't put myself out there and make these kind of videos that can genuinely help people until I, myself, am already perfect. Now, there is validity to wanting to be far enough along in your own personal journey before you can help others. After all, the metaphor, analogy, whatever you want to call it, of needing to put your own mask on before helping somebody else put their mask on in the event of a plane crash is a very good one. But there's a difference between making sure you're okay and able to help somebody else and having to be completely perfect with nothing left to improve on before you even start helping somebody else or even start putting a piece of art or discussion piece or whatever it is out there. When I was growing up, I was a perfectionist about every little thing about myself. And I still struggle with this today. I was especially a perfectionist about my hair and just kind of how I presented myself in general. I would literally spend hours in the bathroom every morning trying to get my hair absolutely perfect. Now, granted, I wore my hair longer and did the kind of emo side swept bangs look for like late elementary school all the way up to early adulthood. But even with this kind of hairstyle, for a good while, I specifically tried to get a very kind of rockabilly, pompadour, quiff kind of thing going on. And I could never get it absolutely perfect. Something that I've done for myself that reinforces I don't have to be perfect is now when I do my hair, every morning, I just put it back after it dries, and I still use hairspray, but I spray it to keep it pretty much in place. And now if anything falls out of place or anything like that throughout the day, or it's not exactly perfect when I'm getting ready in the morning, it's not something that I worry about so much because I realize perfectionism isn't possible. Now that's all well and good when it comes to things like your appearance and how you groom yourself and things of that nature. But what about if you're a creative mind of sorts? Well, another thing that I did was, for years, I was seriously pursuing a career as an actor and a musician. I had an old channel on here where I uploaded my many attempts at making a record and doing covers of different songs, as well as some original singles and such here and there. And every time I would get a little bit better, every time I would get a little bit better recording software, I would get a better sounding guitar, I'd have a better camera setup, whatever it would be, I would always think, I need to start over. I need to do the entire first record again, the entire second record, so on and so forth. Eventually, I never really even got off the ground with what I was trying to do. There's a saying that you have to learn to crawl before you can walk, and walk before you can run. But if you're anything like me, you don't want to learn to crawl. You don't want to learn to walk. You want to run out of the gate. My friends, that just isn't possible. Even now, every time that I make these videos for you guys, every single time without fail, I have an idea in my head, I talk about it, I record it, and I put it out there. But every time, once I hit that record button, and I stop recording, about 5 minutes, maybe less, maybe the next day, maybe while I'm editing, I'm hit with all these ideas of, oh, I could have said this, I could have said that. And I think, I should go and redo it, because now I have all these other ideas I can talk about. But if I allow myself to do that, I'm just going to keep redoing it, and redoing it, and redoing it, and there will never be a finished product. There comes a time where, as a creator, as a person in general, you have to say, I've done all that I can. I put my heart and soul into this. Whatever you needed to do, whatever you needed to make, I'm ready to release this into the world in its current state. And even though it's not perfect, I can accept it for what it is, and I trust other people will too. It's a very destructive beast, a very destructive mindset to think you have to be perfect before you can even start. It's not healthy at all. If this is something that you struggle with yourself, I recommend a few things. One, maybe do something to visually remind yourself perfectionism isn't attainable and it's really not important. If you're a creative person of any sort, allow yourself to release that creative project into the world. And understand that this isn't perfect, but it's okay. Because for one, you're going to get better the more and more that you create. When I look at my favorite artists, actors, directors, creators of any kind, YouTubers even, I look at them and I see how far they've come now. But even when I look back to where they began, I notice they're not constantly redoing their earlier work. Every now and then you will have an artist that will come along and do like a, 10-year special rendition of a record or something like that. But generally speaking, people who create don't redo their old creations. Even if they might look back on it and cringe or think, man, I'm so much better now, I could have done that so much better now. They don't let it hold them back and keep going back to do the same thing over and over again. It puts you in this never-ending cycle. You have to break it for yourself and say, no, this is good. You have to fight that instinct in your mind to say, oh, let me redo this, let me add this, let me just do these finishing touches. You have to fight that instinct. There's nothing wrong with polish, proofreading, or anything like that. But there's a difference between those sorts of things and redoing everything. I mean, think about it. If directors and producers wanted to reshoot every time they came up with a better idea in a movie would never get released. If music artists were constantly redoing tracks and records entirely before they put it out, they'd never put it out. You have to break that cycle within yourself. And I understand how difficult it can be. But it is essential. You have to be okay with not being perfect yet. When I go into the gym, I'm a little intimidated by the other people that are benching more than me, that are in better shape than me. All of those different things as well. I have to fight it and say, they could have started at my point, or worse. And a big part in combating all of this perfectionism mindset is don't compare yourself to others. Compare yourself to where you were yesterday, a week ago, a month ago, 2 months ago, a year ago, 5 years ago, and look at how much progress you've made for yourself. Not for somebody else, for you. And when you get to that point, and you're able to stop worrying so much that you're not perfect, because you never will be, you will finally start taking steps, not toward perfection, but toward being really great at whatever your field is, whatever your goals are. You'll never be perfect, but as long as you keep trying, you don't allow yourself to end up in this cycle of repetition. You don't worry about being perfect, but you focus on progress. You'll never reach perfection, but you'll get as close as possible. As always, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. Follow me on social media for more, links in the description. Subscribe and ring the bell to stay up to date. Leave a like if you like, and if not, I hope you find something to do like. Later, guys. Peace and love.